everybody. We are on the free-to-play. Um, so Clan Boss was not kind to me. However, I did get my weekly from the oh, what is it in? Is it here? Yeah. This weekly right here. The ancient shard that you get one of them every 7 days. That's why you want to make sure you check in, getting in the shop and checking for these freebies. You get one mystery shard every day and one of these every week. So I got that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that while we're still under a 2x here. Now we don't have the increased chance for Elva, but we still have the 2x. This is the best time to pull, so I am gonna pull. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna kick it off with the video here. An epic. Ooh, interesting. An epic that I don't think I have at all on the main account. Let's take a look here. So we have decreased attack on the A1. Shield buff on this champion for 2 turns equal to 25% of their max HP. Nice. Then attacks an enemy. Places a provoke debuff for 1 turn. This is 3 turn cooldown when booked. If the target's max HP is equal to or lower than this champion's, the provoke debuff cannot be resisted. Okay. Interesting. Attacks one enemy will ignore 25% of the target's defense. Will also ignore unkillable and block damage based on HP. Will receive 25% less damage from enemy attacks when this champion's HP drops to 50% or below. It's a taunter, which is nice. I don't like that it's on a... it's on a 3-turn cooldown when booked, but it's only lasts... The provoke is only for 1 turn. And the resisting thing... Taunt isn't really something that I'm, like, desperate for. It's outside of Hydra. And I don't think my man here is going to be cutting it in the Hydra taunt realm. So... However, it is a faction wars champion that will be beneficial to me. This faction has gotten quite stacked for me, the Shadowkin, as far as epics go. What's his reviews? I'm just curious. Okay. But I do think Kinagashi is going to be pretty good for me just because of the revive. And the ally attack. I know it's only 1 ally, but... And turn meter fill. So, I could see some value out of there. And I think Fenshi's going to really help me out in Fire Knight. 3 times hitter with decreased speed. 3 times hitter with turn meter reduction. The 2 times hitter with poison. I don't know that I would keep that on. I think I'd just want to rotate between the multi-hit. I mean, poison's not bad for Fire Knight, but that's not really... You're looking to get that turn meter out of him. So you could turn this off, maybe put him in a reflex set. Because he doesn't need... he doesn't need to crit like Allure, so you could build him if you wanted to, just really, really fast with high accuracy and survivability. And then... yeah, maybe that's still worth it. Because it's still a multi-hit. It's 1 less hit. But it wouldn't apply the poison when he's got his shield up anyways. I don't know. I don't know too much about Fenshi, but I do know that I need help in Fire Knight, and I don't have a Cold Heart yet, so we definitely want to go in that direction. Oh, sweet. Oh, it's because of the... I was like, I don't know where I got those points from. It's because of the 10 points that I got for today. Oh, man, I'm so tempted to spend my gems. I really am, guys. I just feel like I have to be so close to Mercy at this point, but it is what it is. We'll start saving up shards. So the next event will come here soon. And we'll pull when that time comes. Where are we at with our daily login? Yeah, we got another big guy here. So we're far away from getting those mythical the primal shards. Those happen awfully late. Okay, so no luck there on the ancient. I kind of wanted to talk today about identifying heroes and also using them kind of the right way. So something I see a lot of. Well, hold on. I did want to check something real quick in my own clan. You guys watch out for these traps. First of all, make sure you guys are paying attention where you're using your keys, because I've had some people say that it was that oops, I used my keys in the wrong area. So I want people that are watching my channel to understand something. Just because my account has found success as in Nightmare and that I can now 3-key Nightmare does not mean that your account can. If you're using your keys and you are not getting the maximum rewards on the difficulty that you're doing the wrong difficulty and you need to go down a peg. You need to go down and get that maximum chest. So for example, if you're doing 8.2 million on Brutal, you're only getting a Guardian chest. You should be in hard, where the Guardian chest is the max reward, and then you can also go and do normal. Light, on the flip side of that, if you're using one key and you're doing 30 million in hard, you should probably be doing a higher difficulty than what you're doing with your keys. You guys need to watch out for that kind of stuff. It's a real simple mistake to make because you get either overconfident in your team or you think that this is where you should be and you don't realize that it's hurting your account. Like, it's hurting your account badly when you're wasting your keys because you only get 4 of them a day, and these are the best rewards in the game. Even if you take out... No, because you can't even take out the shards. Because like look at let's take for example someone that's doing on Nightmare. They put 2 keys for 3.7 million. If they did that on hard, 3.7 million, it's a Guardian chest. You still have chances for shards, ancients, and voids. We've seen how valuable they can be. Look at Ursula. Ursula was from a void shard. She had bumped my account up, but those are shards you're not getting on your account if you're not using your keys right. Same with Brutal and everything. You need to be getting the most that you possibly can. If you're 4-keying Brutal, then 4-key Brutal. If you're 3-keying Brutal, put the remaining key in hard and even if that remaining key only does like a warrior chest or whatever, you're still getting the right resources. But if you're 3-keying Brutal and you put a key into Nightmare and it does 2 million damage, guess what? You didn't get shit for that key, and you're wasting your time and you're wasting your resources. It's a pet peeve of mine. It's something that like I'm kind of irritated right now looking at my own clan and seeing people doing this in my clan. And it's just really frustrating to see. And accidents happen, misclicks happen, but they can't happen more than one time. Like that one time that you use your key and you're like, oh my god, I just did that on Ultra Nightmare and wasted my key, that needs to be the last time. It's not hard. I've never done it, so it's just not hard. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about, that was something that was brought to my attention that I wanted to look into, but what I wanted to talk about was recognizing and understanding how to utilize the champions that are on your roster. So it's very common that I see people doing wrong blessings. I say wrong, which may not be the right term for it, but using less effective blessings and things like that. Um, you need to understand, and maybe you need to, maybe it's important to understand what your champions are capable of and how you plan to utilize them. So Husk is a good example. If I had a blessing on Husk, I would actually go for Heaven Cast. Debuff placed by this champion default skill will ignore a percentage of the target's resist. Um, that's great because you would need to get accuracy lower. I would do that because I want Husk to land his provoke, which is a big part of his kit. And because it's on his A1 and has a low percentage, you want to have that extra kind of chance for it to land. You don't want it to get resisted. And I think the Hydra heads have like a percentage to resist and everything. Um, whereas like for Deacon Armstrong, who takes a lot of turns because of his extra turn ability, I like him in Cruelty, um, to reduce the defense of what I'm fighting, which I think is very important because that's going to help you do more damage. Um, Mostly, this is my opinion. I want to be clear, my opinion. I feel like Phantom Touch is pretty much the best to be picked up for rare champions. Now, one thing that was brought to my attention that was interesting was somebody asking, well, I saw that it was attack based and Coffin Smasher is HP based. You're absolutely right. However, the bonus damage from Phantom Touch is a lot. If they had a bonus damage that also gave HP as the extra stat, yeah, I would want to take that. But flat stat HP from a different blessing is less than what you get damage output wise from the Phantom Touch, in my opinion. I've not checked these numbers. But I feel very confident in that. Now I do understand if you were to do different blessings, um, for support for some support based champions, like maybe I think I had Survival Instinct on Apothecary, and that basically gets him a lot of extra turn meter, which is good because the more turn meter he gets, the more he can give speed and turn meter to the rest of the team, which is strong. So I could see something like that, but I personally am just a huge fan of Phantom Touch, and I love that extra damage just out of people's A1s, um, but you should analyze kind of where your blessings are at and what they're doing. You also want to keep in mind what blessings you're using for the team in general. So let's say that I got a blessing for Geomancer. Well, Geomancer doesn't hit. This is a places. He doesn't actually hit anybody when he does his A3. Um, so in that sense, you wouldn't want to go. I mean, you could if you didn't have an epic with cruelty, then you could still go cruelty. However, if you have an epic that's bringing cruelty to the team, that doesn't stack. So you only want one cruelty. So then what would you go with him? Like in my scenario, I would probably go maybe Commanding Presence. I mean, you could still do Dark Result or Phantom Touch, but Commanding Presence might be nice to get a little bit more speed out of that aura. That were you for my. I'm talking about my team, which is for the aura out of Sun Wukong, which will be Deacon eventually. But right now, no, yeah, it is Deacon because Sun Wukong's is Arena, right? Yeah. So Deacon is my speed aura. I could give a little bit more aura. Now let's say that because this doesn't matter. This doesn't have to be the leader that does it. This strengthens the team's aura. It doesn't have to be the person that's in the lead. So you could still put that on Geomancer. Let's say I had the highest blessing on Geomancer and a small blessing. I might do Geomancer then on the decreased defense because I think damage is more important than that commanding presence. The percentage is good, but I think getting that extra damage out of the cruelty is going to because you can go up to 10%. So decreasing the defense of the target by 10% permanently throughout the fight, I think it's going to be more valuable. Um, so you would want your higher rated epic, in my opinion, to bring that one, with the second epic bringing commanding presence because they don't stack. But again, these are all opinions, but I kind of wanted to bring it. I kind of wanted to bring it up because I do feel like there's a big disconnect with blessings, and I see it in my own clan. When I look at clan boss, I see a lot of people using blessings that, in my opinion, don't really make sense. Now I can understand if there's situations where people are doubling up blessings. You'll see I do Phantom Touch with my two other epics, but that's because I don't I don't want the speed aura increased because that changes my speed tune. So I need Phantom Touch for all of these guys, and then Demitha brings the decreased defense. Um, these guys are interchangeable, but I think Seeker hits more often, so I had him because this does stack up to a point, but it only takes so many hits, and then it's at its highest level. So I felt Phantom Touch on Seeker did more damage, plus getting him that extra attack. But stuff like this, like um, and I'm not knocking Bonk is a great player, and I'm not, and he probably has this for another area of the game, but faultless defense, I don't think is really bringing all that much to the table when it comes to to Clan Boss. I get that it can. Clan Boss only has one double hit, and he does it after he's below 50%. So if you're using keys before he's below 50%, then it's a non. It doesn't do anything. And then if you are doing it after they're below 50%, um, if you're needing survivability so badly after they're, then you needed it also while they were before 50%. Like I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure there's probably I've been trying to research it and see where why where this concept is coming from, and I'm not finding anything to support it. I don't think faultless defense is going to make or break a clan boss team, but Phantom Touch can bring a lot of damage. This is Chainbreaker, so what's Chainbreaker do again? Chance to remove the crowd control debuffs. Um, on this champion specifically, garbage in clan boss. Um, uh, yeah, especially on an Ugo. You need, if Ugo gets stunned, you're not mad. like Ugo's not exactly pumping out damage. Maybe for an unkillable team, like I could see myself maybe doing that on an. Oh no, I can't do it on an Eris, right? Because it's yeah, can't do it on an Eris. So, and even then, it's such a low chance. No. Uh-uh. That's such a low chance. There's more consistent ways to remove debuffs. If you're concerned about a debuff, bring a cleanser. I mean, that's there. You may not have a cleanser, but if you don't have a cleanser and you're worried about a stun in clan boss, I don't. You're thinking wrong. um, that isn't gonna make up that difference. Um, But now obviously there are blessings that are going to be more beneficial for other areas of the game. But yeah, you really want to be making sure that you're paying attention to what blessings you're using and understanding them. Don't just click them because they said to get them on a site. Understand why it's good on that champion, and how it's going to help you. Um, because otherwise you're just really holding yourself back. Okay, let's see. All right. The other thing I wanted to talk about is kind of understanding how champions work. One of the most common questions that I get in my comments and from my clan is, how should I build this champion or something along those lines. So if you have a champion, understand where you want to use them. Let's say, for instance, I wanted to do Fire Knight 20, and I'm going to use Armiger as my crowd control champion. First of all, or not crowd control champion, as my turn meter champion. Now, first of all, why does that matter? Let's talk about Fire Knight strategies. So I feel like maybe, remember, I've brought this up in other videos that I don't want to speak. This is why I do things like question block. And the episode is coming. I'm probably going to record it after this because I'm tired of like teasing it. But let's say, because Fire Knight is prevalent this week, let's say I want to do Fire Knight 20. Okay? Well, a great strategy for Fire Knight, if you have the champions, is you break the shield and then you have turn meter control champions that don't let him get another turn. That's why I was talking about, and now I go back and say I would turn it off for Fenshi. So why do I like Fenshi against Fire Knight? Well, or I guess it doesn't matter because it's not his A1, it's on his A2. Why do I like Fenshi and Armiger? Let's say that. Well, you want turn meter reduction. That's what makes Cold Heart so good. Is Cold Heart brings a multi-hitter, but also brings turn meter reduction. I see a lot of people talking about things like heal reduction. That's a strategy too, but in reality, the best strategy, the most effective strategy for Fire Knight is you don't let him get a turn, or you minimize the amount of turns that he can get. So how do you do that? Well, first, you break down his shield with multi-hitters. That's what makes Fenshi good. He brings a multi-hit. He also brings decreased speed. So not only can you control his turn meter, but you're also slowing the rate at which he's getting turn meter because he has decreased speed on him. Then you bring in the A3 or the A2, which has turn meter reduction by 15%. Now, it is only a 50, 65, 75% chance, but that's a really good chance to potentially get 45% turn meter reduction. That's not right. That is right. 45% turn meter reduction. Armiger becomes good as long as you can get him crit capped and your positive affinity for him, meaning that you're fighting spirit or force affinity. You can use him on magic affinity as well, but it's not going to be consistent because he has a chance to get a weak hit. But he gets 30% turn meter reduction on his A1. You turn off his A2. So basically, you break the shield down with a couple multi-hitters, say like a Fenshi and an Apothecary, and then you have a fast Armiger with high accuracy, which we'll talk about in a second, and he's just taking that turn meter down so that Fire Knight doesn't get another turn. Now, eventually, over a course of time, Fire Knight's eventually going to outscale the turn meter reduction that not if in a perfect world he would not. But you would make it so that he doesn't get a turn, and then you just beat him down that way. So the reason I'm mentioning stuff like this is that if I wanted to use Armiger in that instance, I need really high accuracy. Well, how much accuracy? So Hell Hades is a really cool thing on their site, which is the raid stages tool. You can just type in raid stages tool and it takes you right to the site. So then while you're on the site, choose encounter type. So we go dungeons, choose encounter, Fire Knight's Castle, Stage 20 normal. Tells you all the information about the waves, but here's the big thing. So he has 200 resistance. You would need 225 accuracy to break that resistance. Do I have an accuracy banner? No. Yes. It's a 4-star. I wouldn't take this up beyond 12, but it would bring me accuracy. He's already been built with accuracy in mind because I knew that that's what I wanted him for. But you can see how far away I am from 225. You probably get away with 220, maybe 200, depending on what kind of other champions you're bringing in support of that. Let's say, for instance, like a Stag Knight, bringing increased accuracy and things like that. So you kind of want to make sure that you're, and that goes for everything that you're bringing as well. So you'll want to have high accuracy on your Geoman, whatever champions that you're bringing. Your Deacon Armstrong would also need to have 225 accuracy to be landing his turn meter control, which would work. So that's an extra 15% that you're constantly getting. That's also speeding up Armiger by 15%. So Armiger can be in there taking that down. He also brings the double hitter on the A1. So I probably have the thing is I'm being lazy about building the Armiger because I've had other priorities. I think obviously it was a better choice to build Geomancer, and obviously it was a better choice to build Venomage, who I'm just waiting to book out. We've seen the improvement from Geomancer alone on Clan Boss. Just to reiterate, my Clan Boss team is now a 3-key nightmare by a mile. Basically, I'm hoping that Venomage will at least bring this down to a 2-key. I don't think Venomage will make enough difference to make it a 1-key. However, if we look at the damage that this is great news. I can show you the Brutal. So Brutal can sometimes be a 1-key, but mostly it's not. So let's see what it is right here with the quick battle. It is a 1-key this time, just barely, which is why sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But let's take a look at kind of the overall damage output. You'll see Kale is putting up 7 million. Now, Sun Wukong is putting in work as well at 5 million. But I do still think that bringing in a well-built Venomage will, combined with Kale, who will eventually be upgraded for somebody else, will do as much, if not more, damage. I'm probably, once Venomage is ready to go, I am doing a massive gear swap on this account. Sun Wukong is going to be built for nukes for arena. Kale is going to need to get more accuracy and speed while still hitting hard because of arena, because I don't have a replacement for him yet. And then Venomage will need to have speed, accuracy, and you want him to be crit capped and doing crit damage as well. So I will have to do a lot of reworking of characters when that time comes. But for right now, this is working. I do want to point out, look at Ursula's Blessing. Again, Phantom Touch. She could potentially be in, because I just want damage. I could maybe put her in Commanding Presence to get more out of Deacon's aura. I might actually do that. I'm going to toy with it and see. I don't think I'll do it anytime soon, because it's going to cost resources to swap it back, and I don't know that I want to spend that. So I might just keep Phantom Touch. But I do think Commanding Presence would be interesting in terms of arena, because that will get me more speed out of arena and help me compete better with other speed teams. Let me look at the time that we're at. We're at 30 minutes. I wanted to talk a little bit about arena as well. I will real quick. So I sent down a warning basically saying, hey, you need to be Silver 1 arena as a minimum to my clan, because I did have many members of my clan who were like Bronze 1, for example. So I said minimum silver, and then the next step is minimum gold 1. And I think I've already talked about that in another video. But as such, I'm getting more and more questions about how to make teams that work in Arena. And I think maybe I already made a video about this. I did. I already made a video about this. We can briefly talk about picking teams. So this team right here, I should lose to this team. They have Arbiter. Arbiter has a bigger speed lead. They have Arbiter into a Deacon. They are going to win the speed battle because Arbiter probably has quadruple speed set. She goes first. Deacon goes, takes my turn meter down, decreases my defense. I get a couple counterattacks, whatever. If Ursula lives, yeah, then there we go. So perhaps Commanding Presence makes it so that I can get more out of the aura. It would be Sun Wukong's aura. But this is a team I feel like I should beat. Because I should win the speed battle here. Unless they're built crazy fast without a speed aura, I should get that head start. You'll see they are pretty quick. It's worth noting how quick they were because they actually went before my Kayle. Even though they got the revive off, I'm not concerned. I felt pretty confident that I had that win. So my point is that you want to look for ones that you're going to win the speed battle. Even this is a scary team, right? You've got 3 legendaries and an ultimate death knight, but I feel like I can win the speed battle here. Let's find out. I do. I go first. Decrease their defense. I increase attack. And there we go. And I even killed the UDK. He wasn't, people complain all the time to me about UDK being unfair in Arena. I mean, not if you're building champions right. And that's the hard part. It becomes really difficult for me to because there's so much that goes into building champions and building them right and gear. Don't let gear be an excuse for not succeeding in Arena. It's probably the most common thing that I hear people say. Well, I need better gear. Well, I need better gear. Well, I need better gear. What you're probably saying is I need Savage gear. And that is not true. It's one of the biggest hangups I see where people are over prioritizing things like Savage and lethal gear, even over prioritizing cruel gear. Ignoring defense is important, but it's also important to remember that some of these guys have it built into their kit. We'll ignore 50% of the target's defense in the default kit. Then let's look at Kayle. Kayle doesn't ignore any defense. He does more damage than my Sun Wukong in AoE right now because he's built better. And he's not in any crazy set. In fact, he has no set bonuses of any sort. And he's outdoing my legendary champion in cruel gear in 2 sets. He has Killstroke and Cruel, and he's getting outdamaged by a rare with no set bonuses because this gear is that good. He has crit damage gloves. Now, you may be a long way from being able to get your champions crit damage gloves and making up the crit rate everywhere else. You'll see I need crit rate rolls on I need crit rate rolls on 5 pieces of gear to make these gloves work. That's not easy. That is a gear deficiency. That is, needing better gear. But let's look real quick at these sets that I'm using. So Righteous set is an exception. That set came from an event. Okay? Frost gear, shield gear, daze gear, and speed gear. Who drops that? Speed gear, frost gear, daze gear. Huh. Isn't that interesting? All of it came off the only boss that I can farm at 5 to 6 stars. How can I farm Dragon at 5 to 6 star, but not Spider, Fire Knight, or Ice Golem? Oh, because Dragon is just clan boss. Why can I do clan boss so high? Oh, because I prioritized clan boss early on. Oh, cool. So I'm able to do gold 1 very easily. Let's pick another random fight. Well, that's an easy one. I was gonna say random, but um, even this one, I might lose the speed battle here. He's got commanding presence with an aura. Let's see. Still go first. Still go first. What was that team? That team has a Rector Drath, amazing epic. Mashald, amazing legendary. Deacon Armstrong, amazing epic with commanding presence, improving his aura. For whatever reason, this guy doesn't have Sun Wukong's aura. And a Kale with more blessing than me. And I smoked him. And if we look at the gear on my champions, I mean, I think the only one that's in any sets. Well, we have speed gear. We have a lot of speed gear on Ursula, but that's only so she can keep up with Deacon because Deacon is so fast with speed gear and perception gear. I know I'm ranting and I know this video is going a really long time, but I really feel like a lot of people are struggling on the little things in this game, and maybe I'm not explaining them well enough. But yeah. So I'm gonna start recording my question block episode. I advise you all to check it out. I'm gonna be answering one of the biggest questions I've been getting for the last 2 weeks, which is how do you know when a count is ready to go for a fusion? So I'll be answering that question. I'm gonna go ahead and end this real quick. Thank you all for watching. My shard pool video on the main account is my second most viewed video of all time. Thank you guys for that. Thank you for all the my subscriptions have gone way up. Thank you guys for subscribing. It really does help me. We're on the goal to 500 subscribers. That's going to unlock a whole bunch of potential for the channel. So really excited with the progress of the channel. Really excited with the progress of the account. But check out Question Block. Not as many of you guys watch Question Block, and I do think it's a huge resource for people that have questions. And if any of the information I gave today is valuable to you, Question Block is going to be even more valuable to you. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.